Game 6, Roszynski versus Alekhine. Alekhine is black. This game was pretty famous. It took place in Paris 1913, and it starts out with an Italian game, bishop c4. During this time period, one of the most common moves was bishop e7, just preparing knight f6, castle, without allowing knight g5. But Alekhine plays d6, and he believes this move to be not inferior, especially because this is one of many typical examples where if white attempts to refute this move, d6, by playing kind of energetic and ambitious, it can actually backfire for white. White did try to refute the opening pretty early on. He plays c3 already, intending queen b3 and stuff like knight g5 maybe. That's exactly what happens in the game. We see bishop g4, queen b3, queen d7, now knight g5. It's also important to analyze bishop takes f7. Here we see queen takes f7, queen takes b7. Black has one good move here. He can play king d7, exclam. Now, this taking the rook, it will be forced, but now we can take it back on f3, hit the rook, and take on e4. And after king d1, queen f3, white must go back to e1 because king c2 would drop the queen in view of knight b4. After king e1, Alekhine noted that he can decide whether he wants to pursue a draw by repeating queen e4, or if he wants to play on for a win, like maybe knight f6. But another idea that gives black a comfortable advantage would be knight d4. Alekhine didn't really consider this idea, but this will lead into advantageous endgame for black after the queen's trade, take the rook, and play e4. The dust has settled, and we can see material is exactly equal, and so is the pawn count. And after move e4, it freezes both the f2 pawn and the d2 pawn. White did not go for this. He went for knight g5 and knight h6. We see bishop takes f7. Also, another idea is to try queen takes b7, simply arguing that white wins a pawn. But Alekhine believes that he has full compensation. He's going to play bishop e2 and castle, and black is fine just because of dynamic activity. He plays bishop takes f7 instead, kind of similar to the last line without knight g5 where you take, except that the difference is like there's nothing on f3 anymore. You can see this red square. So it looks like an improvement because after the dust settles, it looks like there's nothing to take, right? But actually, not exactly. This bishop has been opened up. So now black can infiltrate some of the light squares, and that's exactly what happens in the game. Black plays the same idea, king d7. White proceeds to take the rook, and he's up a lot of material. But black says that it's not enough. The white king is more important. He plays queen c4, already threatening checkmate, and white plays f3. So Alekhine was excellent at playing unexpected, um, I guess, dynamic moves in positions where most players would consider only uh, they would only play automatic and consider only like the conventional moves. For example, a normal club player might just play bishop h5 right here, but pause the video and see if you think you can find a better move. Bishop takes f3 was played in the game, and it's the best. Um, Bishop e7 is not an immediate idea, so it's misleading for me to put the arrows like so, but it is coming in the future. After g takes f3, indeed bishop e7 will come in the next couple moves because there's no way to cover the dark square weaknesses. First, black played knight d4 excellently, which is important because after bishop e7, the white king can just escape after bishop h4. He can just take this rook and escape. And white is just not going to get checkmated. So first it was knight d4, and white has like two only options. He plays the worst of the two. The two options are the arrows c takes d4 and d3. He plays d3. It was better for white to play cd4 and go into this endgame with queen c1, king e2, queen h1, and d5, queen h2, king d3, queen g1, exclam, with better prospects for black. Just after queen c6 or something, black will just go king d8, and black is doing okay. He's better. Because in that endgame, the black bishop can get activated much faster than the b1 knight can. You know, in old day chess, there's this like big assumption that queen and knight versus queen bishop favors the queen and knight always because it's a better attacking duo. Nah, that's not always true. Computer chess has actually shown maybe even more cases where it is favorable to have the bishop. It really depends on like the square color complex and the activity of the pieces. An active knight's always great to have and has more potential to be active than a bishop does, but on the other hand, bishop can be used more quickly. So it was d3 in the actual game, and the rest is pretty short. Queen takes d3, c takes d4, bishop e7. So now the queen is like inching close to the king. Bishop h4 is just checkmate, and white has no defense just because both the checkmate and capturing the queen are forced. White just decided to capture the rook, but with no resistance because of bishop h4. And the game was over. Right, so we can see Alekhine was excellent at playing very without autopilot. He just plays these unexpected combinational moves because now somehow he figures out it all works out with knight d4, because if not cd4, then nothing else is going to work. He just kind of saw this, and so virtually white will have no defense. And that's what he was really good at. And it's very hard, even today, for modern players to play this way. This is why many people regard Alekhine as one of the best players. Kasparov said, every chess player, if you ask them like a list of their favorite games, they will definitely have some Alekhine games on their list. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to continue on. Thank you.